Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. Lately, my Etsy shop feels a little bit revived and I'm working more on fulfilling orders. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk more about my strange and whimsical plushies. If you are new here, I'm Adele, a full-time doll artist creating intricate porcelain ball-jointed dolls, as well as creepy but cute plushies. My brand split into these two categories almost from the beginning. And it might seem that these two branches of dolls are very different from each other, and in some ways they are, but it all connects on a personal level. So I really wanted to talk about that more. Maybe you yourself feel some pressure or expectations on how your art should look like, because I always felt that too, and had to unlearn some things from art school to freely create what I want, even if that's two very different things. As a doll artist, I always wanted to create complex and majestic dolls that would be a collector's item and viewed as an art piece. And porcelain dolls serve me that purpose. But it can be mentally exhausting creating these elaborate dolls one after another without space to generate truly meaningful ideas. That's where my plushies come in. They are a much-needed pause, a burst of fun creativity without having huge expectations and rules on what art should look like. I invent the most silly characters with childlike joy and lightness. I don't take myself too seriously and enjoy creating these whimsical plushies that serve me as a fun break between bigger projects. There's something about crafting these silly characters that brings me joy. The weirder, the better. And this is what I had to unlearn from art school. Not everything has to be the highest form of art. To keep that creative fire burning, we need some distraction, laughter, and nourishment to our inner selves while keeping our hands busy. Let me know if you felt some performance anxiety after art school. It can be so hard to unlearn those old school expectations and find your own path as an artist. I would love to hear your story. So now that we have the why established, we can talk about the process. I have loads of video tutorials of these plushies on my Patreon page, but I'll try to show you how I make these dolls in this video too. It all starts with some simple sketches to determine the character and approximate proportions. Then I start to sculpt the face. All of my plushies have sculpted faces, and the main reason is that I love sculpting. Also, it helps to create the weird characters I like. I always use air dry clay, mostly La Doll or La Doll Premix. I spend some time perfecting the features and trying to capture the character of the doll. Most of these plushies are not one of a kind, and I repeat them many times. So to avoid sculpting new faces every time I get an order, I make silicone molds for them. This way I can cast as many faces as I need, and it speeds up the process quite a bit. Painting the faces and sewing the bodies is the most exciting part because you get to see the character coming alive. Once I have this process down, I can make one plushie in about 2-3 hours. For painting, I mostly use soft pastels, watercolors, and acrylic paint. Everything gets sealed with protective matte varnish at the end. I'll try to link all the materials I'm using in the description below. I like to paint in layers to give some depth to the colors. That's why I like using watercolors and soft pastels. These mediums can be very buildable and showcase the subtle tones of each color. of my plush dolls have fluffy, squishable bodies. I try to pick soft fabrics that are nice to the touch. That's why I rarely purchase my fabrics online. I have to see how they feel to the touch. In my opinion, it's a huge deal when making plushies. I consider these dolls as desk friends, and sometimes you want to squeeze them to relieve stress or just to feel better. So they need to be very cozy and soft. There's a lot of sewing by hand in this process, but I really enjoy putting these dolls together. It's almost like a fun puzzle. I put on the podcast or some music and keep sewing most of the day to fulfill all the orders. Packaging is equally important to me. I want people to feel as they just received a gift, even if they purchased the doll for themselves. To keep the costs low, I use simple cardboard boxes, some colorful tissue paper, add a note and a postcard featuring one of my plushies. It's simple but still feels festive. By the way, the postcard set is now available on my Etsy shop too. Before, they were reserved only for my patrons, or you receive one when ordering the doll. But now they come in this cute packaging as their own item. After a day of creating these whimsical characters, I'm ready to go back to my porcelain dolls and become serious artist once again. I love the duality of my creations, and they feel equally important to me. They all have their purpose. I hope you found this video interesting to watch, and maybe you will try creating your own silly characters. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.